The establishment is literally falling apart. Yesterday, Elizabeth Warren crashed to the Senate floor like her fake heritage claims, but that's only the beginning. Nancy Pelosi just got ambushed by CNN, of all places, about her insider trading, and her response exposes everything. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt dropping the bomb. Pelosi makes $174,000 a year, but has $413 million? Her stock picks grew 70% in 2024 alone. She outperformed every single large hedge fund and doubled Warren Buffett's returns. The Pelosi Act just passed committee, ready to ban congressional trading forever. Even the White House is pointing fingers at Nancy. Meanwhile, Warren's faceplant went viral with Ted Cruz rushing to help. The Democrats are collapsing under their own corruption, so keep on watching. Now, if you're getting close to retirement or just thinking ahead, you've probably done a solid job of saving. But here is something most people don't consider. How much of that money is just sitting in cash? Well, it might feel safe, but holding too much cash guarantees one thing: you're losing purchasing power, because inflation eats away at it, and the dollar's value keeps slipping. And that's why more people are looking at real assets like physical gold and silver to protect their savings. Noble Gold Investment makes it easy. Visit nextnewsgold.com. And when you own real assets, you have real wealth. You can call that number on the screen, also 877-646-5347. Now, we've got a lot to get to. We do have the footage, though, of the real reason why Elizabeth Warren, much closer inspection of the fall. Apparently, Eric Swalwell was nearby. Let's take a look at the footage.
Baldwin turning in the affirmative. Baldwin, Rochester, turning in the affirmative. Baldwin, Rochester.
Okay, sorry, I couldn't help myself. All right, let's go to the real footage. This is what really happened. She's standing there.
Senator
picking her butt.
In the affirmative.
She waves.
Baldwin, Rochester,
oh,
Durbin,
and down she goes.
Heinrich,
Down she goes. Oh.
Hirono,
Ted Cruz
Kane.
to the rescue, going to pick her up. But that's only the beginning. Let's take a look at what happened at the White House just a few hours ago. Our cameras were there to capture it all. Nancy Pelosi's 2024 stock portfolio jumping 70%, surpassing every hedge fund. Caroline Leavitt slamming the insider edge. Trump calls for a total ban on congressional trading. Listen.
Ensuring that.
You talked with the president about his position on the stock trading ban bill before Congress. He obviously had pretty loaded comments about Senator Hawley. There's some reporting that they've since spoken. What is his position on the current status of that bill?
The president has spoken to Senator Hawley, who called him, and the president took that call. As the president said in the Roosevelt Room yesterday, conceptually, he of course supports the idea of ensuring that members of Congress and United States senators who are here for public service cannot enrich themselves. And the reason that this idea to put a ban on stock trading for members of Congress is even a thing is because of Nancy Pelosi. I mean, she is rightfully criticized because she makes, I think, $174,000 a year, yet she has a net worth of approximately $413 million. In 2024, Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio, this was a fascinating statistic to me, grew 70% in 1 year in 2024, and her portfolio outperformed every single large hedge fund in that same year, and even more than doubled the returns of Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. So I think the president stands with the American people on this. He doesn't want to see people like Nancy Pelosi enriching themselves off of public service and ripping off their constituents in the process. As for the mechanics of the legislation and how it will move forward, the White House continues to be in discussions with our friends on Capitol Hill.
Clearly, the White House saw my interview with Ross Givens, where he broke that news just a few weeks ago. Remember that? Oh, yeah. Yes, we broke that news. And yes, the White House pays very close attention to everything that we publish, to the point where we've even been featured in official White House promotional videos. Isn't that something? Okay, but we also have, before we get to Pelosi, let's jump in and see what President Trump had to say 24 hours ago. Trump now calling for an investigation into Pelosi for insider trading because her returns are too high. Listen.
So in that sense, I like it conceptually. And, you know, Nancy Pelosi became rich by having inside information. She made a fortune with her husband, and I think that's disgraceful. So in that sense, I'd like it, but I'd have to really see I study these things very carefully, and this just happened. So I'll take a look at it. But conceptually, I like it. And what I do think is Nancy Pelosi should be investigated because she has the highest return of anybody practically in the history of Wall Street, save a few. How did that happen? It happened by she knows exactly what's going to happen, what's going to be announced. She buys stock, and then the stock goes up. I like it conceptually. And, Nancy Pelosi became rich by having inside information. She made a fortune with her husband, and I think that's disgraceful. So in that sense, I'd like it, but I'd have to really see I study these things very carefully, and this just happened. So I'll take a look at it. But conceptually, I like it. And what I do think is Nancy Pelosi should be investigated because she has the highest return of anybody practically in the history of Wall Street, save a few. How did that happen? It happened by she knows exactly what's going to happen, what's going to be announced. She buys stock, and then the stock goes up. I like it conceptually. And, Nancy Pelosi became rich by having inside information. She made a fortune with her husband, and I think that's disgraceful. So in that sense, I'd like it, but I'd have to really see I study these things very carefully, and this just happened. So I'll take a look at it. But conceptually, I like it. And what I do think is Nancy.
Okay, so let's go and take a listen to Nancy Pelosi's reaction. Of all places on CNN, Turd Tapper himself actually asked the question. You can see Nancy getting all aggravated, and look at her face contorting. She's all twisted. You want to hear what she has to say? Oh, yes, of course you do. CNN asking Pelosi about insider trading allegations. Turd Tapper for the win.
The trading of.
It was. But let me just read what he said. I'm sorry that we had some sort of technical issue. Nancy Pelosi became rich.
Why do you have to read that? We're here to talk about the 60th anniversary of Medicaid. That's what I agreed to come to talk about.
But I wanted
what that means in the election.
I wanted to give you a chance just to respond. He accused you of insider trading. What's your response to that?
That's ridiculous. In fact, I very much support the trading of members of Congress. Not that I think anybody's doing anything wrong if they.
Did you notice that? She didn't refer to the name of the bill. What's the name of the bill? It's called the Pelosi Act. Imagine having a bill named after your own insider trading to stop you from insider trading, and she's being asked on CNN about her insider trading. Oh, man. Talk about having to dance around the name of a bill. Let's go back.
In fact, I very much support the trading of members of Congress. Not that I think anybody's doing anything wrong. If they are prosecuted and they go to jail. But because of the confidence it instills in the American people, don't worry about this. But I have no concern about the obvious investments that had been made over time. I'm not into it. My husband is, but it isn't anything to do with anything insider. But the president has his own exposure, so he's always projecting. He's always projecting. And let's not give him any more time on that, please. We're going forward here, and I'm very proud of my family. And while he might make fun of us, while somebody inspired by him breaks into our home and hits my husband in a deadly fashion, hits my husband over the head, and he thinks that's a riot, I'd rather not go into some of my other complaints about him right now. Rather to talk about the 60th anniversary.
Yeah. Forget about it. Okay, here is the shocking moment. Senator Rick Scott came out hard against the ban on congressional stock trading. The idea that we're going to attack people because they make money is wrong. Rick Scott is against it?
Background. So this idea that we're going to attack people because they make money is wrong. Is absolutely wrong. We should cherish all of our different backgrounds. Every one of us has a different background. I've got a business background. But what I was just accused of is making money, and somehow I can't be fair and do things the right way.
Well, Senator, I do have to point out that you guys all have privileged information and that you have the ability to trade on that information before specific bills or executive orders are signed or passed. So you kind of have an unfair advantage.
So I think it's disgusting what is going on here. It's this idea that we're going to attack people.
Yeah, okay. See, it's happening on all sides, folks. It's not just Pelosi. It's not just it's not just Republicans or Democrats. They're all doing it. Let's take a flashback to Nancy Pelosi on banning stock trading for Congress.
And their spouses be banned from trading individual stocks while serving in Congress.
No, I don't know to this second one. We have a responsibility to report in the stock. On the stock, but I'm not familiar with that 5-month review, but if people aren't reporting, they should be. Because this is a free market and we're a free market economy, they should be able to participate in that.
Yeah, but of course you do have inside information. Okay, I think we did play that clip of Caroline Levitt. Didn't we already play that clip? Yeah, we did. We did play that clip. Okay, my bad. Here is Senator Josh Hawley talking about it.
Say that we have an opportunity here today to do something that the public has wanted us to do for decades, and that is to ban members of Congress from profiting on information that, frankly, only members of Congress have in the buying and selling of stock. 86% of Americans say that members of Congress should not be able to buy and sell shares of stock, individual stock, while they are members of this body, and they are absolutely correct. And the reason is, you can see it, there was just another ethics referral in the House last week. We've seen the former Speaker of the House make millions of dollars in profits. We've seen members of both parties, I'm sad to say, be investigated for their stock trades. And the reason for all of this is that, quite frankly, members of this body are privy to information that the normal person just is not. Now, is that insider trading? It is not under the laws. Sometimes people say, well, we already have insider trading laws. We don't need a stock ban. Well, the information that members of Congress are privy to is technically not covered by the insider trading laws, but nobody really believes that the information that we get isn't valuable. It is quite valuable, which is why back during COVID, you saw members of Congress of both parties engage in a flurry of stock trading right after they were getting COVID briefings. Were members of the public getting those briefings? They were not. Were members of the public privy to the kind of information that was being given to members of Congress? No, they were not. And so when you look at what members of Congress are privy to, what they are able to trade on, the access that they have, it's just qualitatively different than your average Joe or Jane, which is why we ought to put into place common sense guardrails that say, if you want to be a member of Congress, you can put you want to save, great. You can buy mutual funds, you can buy broadly diversified investment vehicles. You should not be able to buy and trade individual stock shares in which, frankly, we have an interest in the work that we do. We have information that no other people get, no other members of the public have. This bill would finally redress that. Say that we have an
It's called the Pelosi Act. You got to love it, right? Okay, let's keep going. White House points the finger at Nancy Pelosi today. Oh, yes, they did. Yesterday, senators struck a deal to ban congressional stock trading. Since we run the Pelosi tracker and built the first way to automatically copy their trades, we thought we'd chime in. Here's everything we know. And why blind trusts are banned as well. Good. This is all good news and such a sad moment for...
Voting in the affirmative. Baldwin, Rochester, voting in the affirmative.
And such a sad moment for Pocahontas Warren. If you got value from this report, tab subscribe. My final thought is next. Now, Nancy Pelosi just got exposed by the White House itself. When CNN's own Turd Tapper asked about insider trading, she panicked. Why? Because Caroline Levitt revealed the truth. Pelosi's portfolio grew 70% in 1 year. She makes $174,000 but has $413 million. She outperformed every large hedge fund and doubled Warren Buffett. The president says that he conceptually supports banning congressional stock trading because of people like Pelosi enriching themselves off public service and ripping off their constituents. The Pelosi Act would end this corruption forever. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Warren's physical collapse mirrors her party's moral collapse. She spent decades lying about her heritage. Now she's literally falling while attacking Trump's economy. They preach about inequality while building personal fortunes through insider trading. So here's the question. Should Congress be banned from trading stocks immediately? Yes or no? Let us know in the comments below. Let's continue the conversation. And if you want to support our investigation into the AutoPen scandal, or if you want to support the efforts of Ron DeSantis and that all-inclusive resort Alligator Alcatraz, exclusively for illegals, with its own runway and lush, lazy river, you can get your Alligator Alcatraz shirt, or just pick your favorite member of the administration at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.